Hello, my name is Alexander Barnes, and I'm the vision holder for the Goofy Golf Game project. Today I'll be showing you the 10 completed Jira tasks that I did this month. I also will show you how they work in-game through the build. So my first 6 tasks, this is one main task with 5 subtasks, is called Create Bumper Mechanic and PFI. And the description is that the bumper will launch the golf ball away when hit, adding a fun and dynamic element to the course. It will create moments where players can take advantage of strong rebounds or be punished for poor aim. Visual and audio feedback will make the interaction clear and satisfying, keeping the gameplay engaging and energetic. User story. As a player, I want the golf ball to bounce off bumpers with clear feedback so the gameplay feels more interactive and fun. Completion criteria: create a blueprint named BP Bumper for the mechanic, add placeholder bumper mesh geometry, set up collision detection so the ball interacts with the bumper, implement bounce physics so the ball reacts at realistic angles and speed, add bumper bounce multiplier logic to adjust the bounce strength, add visual feedback when the ball collides with the bumper, add audio feedback when the ball collides with the bumper, and then I'll test and tweak it. So first subtask is implementing the bumper mechanic in hole 4, and basically this is the introduction of the bumper mechanic. So I'll create a blueprint for the bumper mechanic, place it in the hole 4, ensure the bumpers are positioned to guide the ball naturally, making them helpful rather than punishing, and all of that. And then I have a current layout, and then a what it will look like when the bumpers are added. Then this is the second subtask. Implement bumper mechanic in hole 5. This will be the practice of the bumper. So place bumpers in positions where good aim and correct power provides rewards. So like shortcuts, closer shots to the hole. Design punishments for missed or poorly aimed bumper shots. And then this is like the current layout before the bumpers, and then with bumpers, this is what it will look like. And then the master hole, implement bumper mechanic in hole 6 master. For hole 6, I want the bumpers to feel like a risk-reward challenge. Most bumpers should make things harder if the player hits them, like knocking the ball into a bad spot or closer to a hazard. Only a few bumpers should actually help the player if they line up their shot just right. The idea is to make the player think carefully when it's worth using a bumper instead of just avoiding them. So completion criteria: bumpers are placed so the most of them punish bad aim or power, while only a few give real benefits. So this is the hole before bumpers, and then this would be the hole without or with the bumpers. Okay, now another subtask of this is visual feedback for bumpers. So I will add a visual effects like a glow, flash, or color change when the bumper is hit. User story: as a player, I want a clear visual feedback when I hit a bumper so I know the collision was successful. Completion criteria: visual effect plays consistently when the ball collides with a bumper. And then audio feedback for bumpers. Add a sound cue like a boing that plays when the ball hits the bumper. As a player, I want to hear a sound when I hit a bumper so the interaction feels more satisfying. And then completion criteria: audio cues plays once every time the bumper is hit. Alright, and that is 6 of the tasks right now, and then I'm going to show you in game. Okay, now I'll be opening it up through the Perforce. This is our build and the Team GGG Goofy Golf Goobers. I'll be showing you how the bumper mechanic works and then where I implemented it in hole 4, 5, and 6. So in hole 4, I introduce it, hole 5, I practice, and then hole 6, I master it. Press tab, skip forward. So you can see that the bumpers are in here implemented. And let me show you that they work. So every time you hit a bumper, it will make a noise and have that visual yellow effect, and then it will shoot your ball away. Okay, now let and show you. If I can get to one of them. Yep, one right there. Yep, and that's the ones in hole 5. Now let me show you the one in hole 6. And this left side. Show you. And that's the bumper mechanic. Thank you. Okay, this is my Jira test number 7 that I completed. It is the adjust hole 2's layout / flow. Based on feedback from the last class, hole 2 was too difficult to be an early hole. I needed to adjust the layout and flow to make it more fitting as hole 2 while still teaching hazards in a fun way. So basically, I just needed to make it not as difficult because it was the second hole. So this was the current mode or whatever. It was pretty punishing, so if you didn't hit it right, you would just basically fall in the water on each side. So I added more area up top so the player can land and not just fall into the water. And then let me show you what it looks like in game. Alright, let me show you opening it through Perforce. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you the level 2 remake that I did to make it easier. Not only did I change it from a par 4, I changed it to a par 5. So hole 2. See how there's more up top area now? Also made the bottom area not as bad, so if you don't hit it perfectly across this bridge, you usually make it across, just it depends. And so now when the player goes up here, begin with, it was like super hard because they had to hit it at a certain angle and it would just fly them either left or right, and there wasn't any up top area to support them. But now if they hit it, there's enough area up top now for them to go. So the player landed right here. They could go all the way over there and try to hit that ramp, but I'm gonna go this way. But that is my hole 2 layout now. Alright, this is my 8th task. Refine hole 8's blockout design. Description: I will refine the blockout for hole 8 to improve its overall flow and pacing. The current layout feels too rough and inconsistent, so this update will make the hole play smoother while keeping it challenging. Completion criteria: create a playground for bumper testing. The blockout for hole 8 has been rebuilt with smoother paths and fairer shot opportunities. And so this is what it looked like before. and this is what I want it to look like. And now let me show you in game. Let me open it up from Perforce. Alright, I'm showing you my new blockout for hole 8. And I added how I added my bumpers, and then I fixed some of the path areas just to make them more smooth. So hole 8. See, now there's bumpers in the middle, and this right side right there is where I fixed. I didn't really touch that right side path, but I touched the middle and left side path. This is the area I fixed, because they were kind of getting stuck in an infinite loop. And the way I fixed it is that instead of having 2 speed boosts with the spring trap, I just added 1 with the spring trap. I also adjusted the size of this area. But that is my hole 8 blockout. Okay, I'm going to be showing you my both Jira test number 9 and 10. Number 9 is the balance bumper mechanic player feedback, and number 10 is the updated course difficulty player feedback. In here, basically I will be collecting, they will play a build with the original with no bumpers and not the updated maps, and then they'll play the updated with the bumpers, and then the data I will collect is the strokes, the time played, hits on bumper, etc. And that's the same for the updated course. So I'll get them to play that, and then I'll gather their information, getting the strokes, the time played, etc. And then I'll show you right here. So this is the original. This is when they played it without the bumpers. So I asked the questions: how long did it take to complete the course? How many strokes did it play by the end of the course? And then this is the updated course player feedback. So how many total strokes did it take you to finish the entire course? 60% said 40 to 50 strokes. About how long did it take you to complete the full course from start to finish? 40% said 10 to 12 minutes. And then how did the updated course compare to your first time playing it? Which hole did you find the most challenging and why? Did you find yourself improving as you went through the holes? Why or why not? And then overall course experience was a 4.40. And then this is the updated course feedback with bumpers, Google form. It's the same question kinda. How many times, or this one's different. How many times did you think your ball hit a bumper throughout the entire course? 40% said 11, 20 times. How many total strokes? 40% said 40 to 50, and then 40 said 30 to 40. Same with this one. How long did you complete the full course? 10 to 12 minutes, and then 7 to 10 minutes. So average of that is like 8 minutes. And then I asked the overall experience. Overall experience was a 3.8. And that is my completed all Jira tasks. And then I will show you there's a question at the end of the game. It asks if they want to take a survey. I will show that in game real quick. Okay, and so I made it to the end of the game, and at the bottom it says, please fill out the surveys included with the game. Your feedback has helped us improve. And so basically this is where I give them the link and they will fill out the information, and that's it. Okay, this month I completed all 10 tasks in Jira. Thank you for watching.
Hello, my name is Marco, and I'm a part of the Goofy Golf Goopers team. In today's video, I'll be going over each of my Jira tasks and demonstrate them all in-game, making sure that each one of them has been completed to the fullest extent. Alright, before I get started, I'm going to be opening the actual game through the Jira builds folder. Alright, open Jira. Open the game up. Alright, so you can see everything is working as it should be. Alright, game is working as game is working. Alright, let's get started with the actual Jira tasks. The first task is implement a cut and skip option for the level intro sequence. Basically states that I need to add an indicator for the player to skip the level intro sequence so they don't have to play through the whole entire thing before they actually get started on the game. And when they do skip it, it works as it should. The gameplay, nothing does not affect the gameplay. Alright, let me demonstrate that real quick. Alright, I'm in the game. Let me reset the level real quick. And then when I press tab, it skips the whole entire thing. And I'm still be able to shoot the ball. Alright, that proves that Jira task has been completed. The second one is implement free camera mode for map exploration. Basically, adding a free roam camera so that the player can zoom in and out the camera so that they can find a easier way to get to the hole and much faster way as well. Alright, let me demonstrate that. Alright, back in the game, and I press 1. I can zoom in and out. Free roam. And then when I'm exit, press 1. And then I can still be able to shoot the ball. Even after. Alright, that proves that this task has been completed. Alright, let's move on to the next one. The next one reads, implement an SFX volume slider in the options menu. Basically, I need to add a second volume slider in the options menu that only affects the sound effects, not the music. Alright, let me demonstrate off in the actual game. As you can see right here, I press options. I have two separate sliders, music and effects. So if I turn this all the way up, the music gets louder as it goes up. Right, press it down. You can't hear the music anymore. So the effects will be slide all the way up. I hear the button when you hover over the button. It's a lot more louder, and then once I go all the way down, you can't hear the button anymore. Alright, with that Jira task has been completed. Well, let me show you off the music real quick. Now it's completed. Alright, the next one is adjust hole 1's layout to reduce out-of-bounds chances. Modify holes 1 designed so that players are less likely to land outside of bounds when attempting the shots. Alright, let me demonstrate that the actual hole. Let me show off hole 1 real quick. Alright, this is hole 1. Before I adjusted this whole level, there was only this one ramp. After this ramp, you have to land on top of this platform over here. Before, the playtesters will always not power up the shots all the way, so they will easily land inside the pond. Right here. So that, so they have to keep on resetting every single time. So I adjusted it, so I stretched this whole entire part further, so that, they, don't get out of bounds very lightly anymore. Alright. With that, let's move on to the next one. Alright, the next one reads, implement birdie system for under par strokes. Add a scoring feedback system that rewards the player when they complete a hole under the target stroke count. For example, 1 birdie, 2 eagle, 3 is albatross. Alright, let me demonstrate that actually in the in-game real quick. Alright, if I hit in this hole, since hole 1 is par is 4, if I hit on right now, I should get like an eagle or a birdie. So
Nice.
got a birdie. Alright. Let's move on to the next one. The next one reads, replace UI fonts with unique theme fonts. As you can see in the actual game, all the fonts are unique and visualize like different than usual Unreal Engine fonts. So let's take a quick look at the main menu again. As you can see, everything is a unique font. Everything is like customized differently than what Unreal Engine allows. So how to play, level select, everything is different. And the credits, which me and my partner Alex. Alright. With that, let's move on to the next Jira task. Alright, the next one is add background environment to hole 3. Basically, add more environmental assets into hole 3 instead of just a generic green plane. Alright, let's show off hole 3. And by the way, the other next two Jira tasks are also the same, so I will be also demonstrating that as well. As you can see right here, it's not just a generic green plane. Has all these tree assets, these logs, everything that kind of makes the environment more appealing visually than just nothingness. Alright, let's move on to the next one. As I said before, this one add background environment to hole 4. Like I said before, it's the same thing as the last Jira task. So I'll be going over the environment of hole 4. As you can see right now, same thing as hole 3. Like trees, flowers, these logs, everything is inside this level, populated in this level, so that it's more visually appealing. Alright, let's move on to the next one. The next one reads, add background environment to hole 5. Same thing as the other two. I'll be demonstrating hole 5's environment. Let's open up hole 5. See right here, same thing again. Hole 5's environment is completely unique, more visually appealing, as just like holes 3 and 4. I mean, like the whole rest of the game. And with that, that Jira task has been completed. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, for the final one, the implement player ranking system based on total strokes. Basically, adding a ranking system that that evaluates the player's performance at the end of the game. An S rank, an A rank, B rank, C rank, and an F rank. These ranks are determine how many strokes that the player is taken throughout the whole entire game. All right, let's move on to this. Let's demonstrate that in the actual. Demonstrate that in the actual game. I mean to say. All right, now I'm on the final hole, which is hole 8. And once I get into this hole right here, it will take me to the end screen. Which unfortunately I got a bogey because it took me so long. Alright, congratulations. Total hits or strokes is 13. And I earned an S rank. Yes. But again, I used the level select to get to the hole 8, and so which kind of really doesn't count too much. As when the player goes throughout the whole entire game, it changes. The total hits or strokes score will go up more. Alright, and with that, that is it for this Jira task. And with that, that is the end of this video. Please let me know if me or my teammate Alex need to implement anything else like you would like to see to further improve our game. And let us know what you like the most about this game. We'll be happy to hear it. And with that, thank you for watching.